Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It seems like China would like to get involved in the peace process between the good countries and the bad country of Russia. And I'm not certain that they are hoping to achieve any success, but what I think is that they would like to show to the world and check mark a little box and say, you know what, we tried, it didn't work out, that's it. I think that's what it is. But what does China want? China said that by the way of this week or so, it will come up with a peace plan for Ukraine. Remember, Zelensky came with his famous peace plan that it's impossible to implement for the other side, but hey, who cares, right? It's like, I will start discussing with you a peace plan if you give me everything you got. You're not going to start the conversation and negotiation from that standpoint. So what does China do? Let's see, I have two articles. First, China's top diplomat, the foreign minister, will visit Moscow. And this is per Reuters, and it's from an article that came out today on February 20th, 2023. China's top diplomat urges end to hostilities ahead of Moscow visit. You know, he knows, everybody know that will not happen. Now, for obvious reasons. First, we'll say, who the hell are you? What are you trying to do? You try to play an important role in this thing, get the hell out. We don't want you, unless you are on our side. And so far, China did not show that eagerness. Now, Budapest, China's top diplomat Wang Yi, so he's not a foreign minister anymore, who is to visit Russia this week on the one-year anniversary of its invasion of Ukraine, called on Monday for negotiations and peace for the sake of the world and Europe in particular. And I'm quoting, "We would like a political solution to provide a peaceful and sustainable framework to Europe," end quote. Wang said ahead of his visit to Moscow during a stop in Hungary, which could result in billions of euros of new Chinese investment in the country. Well, if the Europeans don't like Hungary, well, maybe China would. So the Europeans give China money and investments, China builds things and sell it back to Europe. Good deal. And maybe builds some factories in Hungary as well. And therefore is going to have a little bridgehead in Europe. China regards Russia as an ally. It's more than an ally, but hey, this is Reuters, what do you want? Counterbalancing US global power. We got to that conclusion now. Good job, finally. And has so far refrained from condemning the February 24 invasion of Ukraine while repeatedly urging peace. Now, let's see, in a Facebook video during a meeting with Hungarian Foreign Minister Petr Szijjártó, fantastic. This guy is a fantastic guy, and I got to know, not personally, unfortunately, this guy also is a very good diplomat. I would like them to be in my team, not Blinken, Baerbock, anyway. So, this is what they said. Let me echo what we had just heard from you and jointly declare to the world that China and Hungary gladly work together with other peace-loving countries to bring the current hostilities to a halt as soon as possible, Wang told Szijjártó in a Facebook video during their meeting. Despite being a member of both NATO and European Union, Hungary has maintained closer ties with Moscow than other members of the group. No, they didn't want to break any ties with anybody. You did. They didn't move. They didn't go closer to anybody. They just stayed where they were. You guys moved away. Again, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, a nationalist, re-elected in 2022 for a fourth consecutive term. That's all what matters. He was elected by his people. Don't care about Brussels, don't care about Washington, Beijing or Moscow. That's what matters. Reiterated on Saturday that being a NATO member was vital for Hungary, but said his government would not send arms to Ukraine or sever its economic relations with Moscow. They depend on, buying energy from these guys. Why should they do it? It's against their interest. Moscow did not do anything to Budapest, as far as I remember. If you go to 54, but that was not Moscow, that was the Soviet Union. And that's a different story, isn't it? No, because we try to conflate Russia with Soviet Union, which I will not do. In the Soviet Union also was Ukraine, so we can say maybe Kiev, okay? Oh, Moscow was the capital. Well, yeah, it's true, but what they're gonna do? The country was Soviet Union, okay? It was not Russia. Orban, who has worked to build closer business ties with China, hosted Wang at a private dinner on Sunday. Okay, now remember when Soviet Union, I'm trying to do something here technical, it didn't work. When Soviet Union did what it did with its tanks, all right, in 54 I think it was, why did they do it? It was about communism. It was not because the Hungarians and the Soviets. It was communism was kind of collapsing in Hungary. And what did they do? They intervened with every other state over there, but a few, if I remember, which was Romania, didn't intervene in Hungary. But nevertheless, what did the West do? What did the West do? Remember how the Hungarians were calling the West to intervene? And the West said, can you hear anything? I don't hear anything. Again, Hungary was left to the Soviets, to the communists, the ones in charge of Soviet Union. The same as the whole Eastern Europe was left by the free world to the Soviets. That's why a lot of people in Eastern Europe, old people, remember that. And they really don't like this kind of, they didn't want to fight for freedom and democracy. They let the communist criminals to take over. Why didn't you care? But anyway, we had General Patton, he had an accident with his Jeep. Yeah, he wanted to take on Russia and not only. So let's see what else is here. So, China CATL plans to build a 7.3 billion euro, which is $7.8 billion, battery plant in Hungary. Europe's largest so far, as the world's biggest electric vehicle battery maker gears up to make growing demand for global automakers. So what do you think about that? Giarto was later quoted by Hungarian news agency MTI as saying that 4 large Chinese corporations could bring additional investments worth 8 billion to 10 billion euros to Hungary. He did not name the companies involved. Great job. So who's winning? Brussels? No. So these guys in Europe, Brussels, the European Union, they use the countries that they accepted into the European Union. As another guy was thinking about the term was, I think, Lebensraum. Was that how it was? Like, vital living space. Remember that one? So these guys said, no, you are ours, but you can't really make business with everybody else. You would just do it here among us, which is you supply whatever to Germany and France, which actually was Germany. France is sidelined, but they don't know it yet, even though when they find out from time to time, they get angry because their pants are too tight on them. So anyway, did you hear the investments? All right, now I have another article here where we have again the Chinese. And this is what China said. Again, I think it's again Wang Yi. Yeah, Wang Yi again. And this comes from the new Voice of Ukraine from the 18th of February 2023. China to unveil peace initiative for Ukraine and Russia this month, said Beijing's foreign minister. I said this week, but it's this month. So they are getting involved. The problem is with these guys, and I don't know if they don't understand, they don't care, or I don't know exactly what's going on. They don't know that they should not talk to the Ukrainians. That's the United States they have to talk to. The Ukrainians were supposed to implement the Minsk agreements since 2014, 2015. And they didn't. Why? They had the Germans, they had the French as the co-signers of the agreements, the guarantors. But you know who was not a guarantor? United States of America. Why is that? So they can pull the string behind. So China, which has a fantastic relationship with the United States at this point, is not going to be any ceasefire over there. A ceasefire will be discussed between China and United States, not China and Russia and Ukraine. You got the wrong people. You got the wrong number. Call the right ones. So, but at least they tried. But I think they will do this just to prove later, hey, we tried. You guys ignored us as you ignored these guys up to December 2021, if you remember, when those guys, which being the bad guys, the Russians, sent the Americans, hey, let's negotiate. These are the security guarantees that we would like to talk about. This and that. The Americans like, hit the road, Jack, do what you're supposed to do. You know, that's what it is. Remember when our Lord Jesus Christ told, what's his name, Judas, well, you do what you need to do. Go do it. The same here. Well, Russians, you just do what you need to do. Just do it. And Russia did it. And then, hey, see, they started an unprovoked war. Anyway, the Chinese are not idiots, you know. So they will go now. They go to Moscow, discuss whatever they got out of the Munich security conference, so-called. They went to Hungary, right? They discuss with those investments. They make sure they got the Trojan horse, economic Trojan horse in Europe, which is fine because, hey, as a let's say you're a family, which is a country, right? You have the neighbor telling you, hey, you can't do business with the other neighbor because we don't like. Ew. Why, do you think I'm going to starve my kids for you? Yes, that's exactly what those guys are saying. Yeah, don't buy gas and oil from Russia. Just buy it from United States at this much price compared with the other one, and who knows how that's going to be delivered to you because Hungary is a landlocked country. So it's not like Germany can build some LNG terminals in 3 months or 2 months or how many months it needed, and it's going to depend on whom? On Poland. Look on the map and see where Hungary is. How do you think we're going to deliver that? By the Danube River? Please. That's why this guy said, no, this is an existential threat for us. If we don't get gas, we already have the pipes coming from Russia. What am I supposed to do? And unfortunately for some, they can't blow them up yet, right there. Anyway, so the Chinese are trying and they will be unsuccessful. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.